am Gustavo.
Hi, I'm Jaden.
Hi, I'm Mike, and in this video we will be discussing person-to-person surveillance in the digital age. To start, surveillance is the monitoring of the behavior, activities, or other changing information, usually of people, for the purpose of influencing, managing, directing, or protecting them.
After September 11, Congress passed the Patriot Act to help protect U.S. citizens from terrorism that infringes on citizens' constitutional rights. The Fourth Amendment states the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures.
The Founding Fathers were very aware of the results of tyranny and sought to prevent abuses of the enormous power of government. The United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights are a testament to the seriousness with which they approach the difficult task of constructing a society in which every citizen could live free of governmental restraint.
In today's society, the advances in technology and availability of devices that a common citizen is what distinguishes a person-to-person surveillance culture from the prior surveillance society. Citizens are turning their smartphones on law enforcement, politicians, celebrities, and neighbors, catching them in inappropriate and illegal behaviors. Over the last 2 decades, the growth of devices such as smartphones, drop cams, GPS, and drones, and their use have made it easier to track and surveil a person on a minute-to-minute basis. Your smartphone sends out a ping to a GPS every few seconds. Your computer keeps a record of your internet searches. When you are at your home computer, you are not alone if your computer has a webcam that can be hacked. I surveil my kids with a night vision camera in their room while they sleep. Traffic light cameras catch you going through red lights or making illegal turns. When I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, closed-circuit TV was only in banks and big businesses. The techniques to surveil back then were very low-tech. Wiretaps, going through your mail, garbage, and cameras with telephoto lenses.
Peer-to-peer surveillance has evolved as an informal way of policing illegal or unethical behavior, leading to major benefits for individuals and society. One example of peer-to-peer surveillance that has societal benefits is how a bystander secretly filmed a police officer shooting to death a fleeing suspect by firing on his back multiple times. The video was uploaded to YouTube and eventually led to the cop being fired and also being charged with murder, as the suspect wasn't using direct physical force or being a threat to him at all. Having digital evidence is not only a legitimate way to bring a cop to justice for doing the wrong thing, but it also sends a message to every police department in the country that there is always going to be a consequence for a wrong action. Peer-to-peer surveillance can also be beneficial on an individual level, for example, by setting up a surveillance system at home. Due to the decreasing cost of surveillance technologies, more and more homeowners are opting to safeguard their homes by installing security cameras as a way to protect their assets and valuable items, and also providing a peace of mind whenever they are not at home.
Having peer-to-peer surveillance culture has changed a lot of things. It has changed the autonomy of police departments. It has changed the legitimacy of these so-called democracy governments. It also has changed the dignity of innocent citizens. It changed the autonomy of the police department because now citizens have more power against these powerful organizations. In the past, police departments were able to self-regulate themselves and solve all their issues within their own department. Some results were manipulated by police departments to protect their own officers. Now, individuals have the power of recording devices that can contradict officer claims. Referring back to Gustavo's example, Officer Michael Slager was lying about his testimony, but a citizen recorded a whole different situation that could contradict his story. The peer-to-peer surveillance culture has also exposed the legitimacy of the top politicians who are controlling the democracy government. One great example is when a donor secretly videotaped the whole Mitt Romney speech at a private fundraiser event for his campaign. Citizens finally get to see how Mitt Romney thinks of the 50% Americans that they're just freeloaders of the government who are lazy and doesn't do any work. Lastly, the peer-to-peer surveillance culture has also affected individuals' dignity. A good reference to this is the Amanda Todd incident. Amanda Todd was severely stalked by a 30-year-old man by using a peer-to-peer surveillance. The guy was able to obtain all her personal information, including where she attends school, and also where she lives. Eventually, she lost her dignity to live and committed suicide.
In conclusion, today's person-to-person surveillance culture is both a growing privacy issue and a way for citizens to counteract the abuses of government and law enforcement. U.S. government surveillance aided by the Patriot Act infringes on every citizen's privacy by disregarding the Fourth Amendment.
As we've seen in recent months, law enforcement has been caught abusing their power by citizens with smartphones. Over the last 5 years, governments around the world have collapsed under the use of social media apps on smartphones, showing the indiscretions of those governments to a global community.
The person-to-person surveillance culture is alive and growing, and it's an imperfect check and balance system for citizens and their government.